There you go. Okay, so here we are live. You guys, thank you so much for joining me again. Whether you're joining me live or you're watching this on replay, I really am honored and blessed that you guys are spending time with me and trusting me to help you with so many things around weight loss and health. And tonight, what we're going to do is I promised that I would share a phenomenal strategy and a resource for you to stop the sabotage, stop being a weight loss washout, particularly on weekends and through the holidays. This is going to serve you so well. I use this exact strategy. I have been using it for years and years for myself. Those of you, I guess I should introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, I'm Dr. Lori Dottie. I am the owner and CEO of Lori Dottie Lifestyle, and I created a 12-week program that we call the Metabolic Resuscitation System Coaching Program to help women who are mostly over 40, whose hormones are kind of getting like whack, right? And whose bodies are not working with us as much as they used to because our metabolisms have been depleted and they've had all kinds of issues, maybe because of hormones changing as we go into peri and menopause, or maybe even, and in addition to the fact that we have probably yo-yo dieted quite a bit in our lives. And I help those women to get it all back under control without dieting, without taking supplements or doing meal replacements, and without any of the gimmicky fad crap that never lasts. And with that, my clients lose 20 or more pounds in the 12-week metabolic resuscitation program. We call it the MIS program. And with the help of my amazing success coach, Becky, who is here, our clients get great results. They drop, like I said, 20 or more pounds. They really have strategies put in place to help them with the struggles that they've been unable to overcome when they've tried all the other kinds of fad programs and products out there. And even things that used to work for them are no longer working, and they find success with us. They drop the weight, their energy goes up, their confidence goes up. They learn how to manage through some of the struggles that we have as we get a little more seasoned in life, and they feel and look 10 years younger. So, part of that program is one of the strategies that this strategy that I'm sharing with you tonight. So of course, it's an entire comprehensive program, that 12-week program is, and we work with clients on an individual basis, individualizing and customizing the protocol for them, because one of the problems in the industry right now with the weight loss industry, and I'm not a huge advocate of the weight loss industry because I really do feel like it preys on women, particularly women of our age. But one of the problems is that you guys are constantly inundated with information that's wrong. It's misinformation. It's information that might work for women in their 20s or even early 30s, but it is not for the woman who has the body that we have now. And one of the biggest problems with that is there's no one size fits all solution to the kinds of struggles that we're dealing with. And in our 12-week metabolic resuscitation program, we customize and individualize those protocols so that you get results week after week and you sustain those results. Because we are not about diets. We are not about going on like the O program, if you know what I mean. Or any of those other kinds of gimmicky programs where you lose 40 pounds and you feel great about it, but then you're right back to square one in a few months. As soon as you stop eating their fuelings or their prepackaged food, or you stop doing whatever gimmick it is that they've sold you, you get right back to the place that you were, and you're frustrated and your clothes don't fit and you just feel like crap. Anybody like, anybody understand what I'm talking about or can relate? So that's what we're all about. And a big part of that is sharing with my clients ways to sustain lifelong results and making it fit into your lifestyle, because the women I work with are career driven. They are extremely busy. They have high stress jobs with a lot of responsibility, and there's just no time to do like meal prep all day long on Sundays or spend an hour in the gym. So all of the protocols and the methods that we teach really do fit into a busy lifestyle, and this being one of them. And so tonight, what I want to share with you is this like strategy that's simple, and it's 3 steps for how you can stop being what I call a weight loss washout, particularly, like I said at the beginning, on weekends and over the holidays. And so who here feels like, and you can drop a comment for me, who here feels like the weekends and through the holiday season, you just feel like you sabotage yourself? Anybody? Like, you make up your mind, you're going to eat healthy. You know a lot about how to eat healthy. You know a lot about maybe even how to use exercise to get some results. And you do really, really well through the week. But then the weekend comes and it's like, holy hell, like what has happened? I just can't make it through the weekends. And I constantly feel like I'm starting over every Monday. Or like through the holiday season, maybe it's like the new year comes and you're like, okay, I blew it through the holidays and now I've got to start over in the new year. Yep. Debbie says, yep. Anybody else? Is it just me? Dana? Yeah, you. See, I mean, this is a super common problem. It is one of the big struggles that when women come to me and join our 12-week program, it's one of the big struggles that they share with me. They're like, I can do all the things right and really, really well all week long. But Friday comes and I'm tired and I've like been putting in the hours at work all week. Everybody's been sucking me dry. And like, I'm just ready to like let my guard down. And from Friday night to like Sunday night, I, eat the refrigerator, I do all the things, and I ruin all of my progress that I've made. That's a vicious cycle that we've got to stop. And so there's this like weird dichotomy, right? So we look forward to the weekends because you're off work, you have time to spend with family, you get time to like go shopping and get your errands done, you have time to socialize with your friends and attend events that you enjoy. And so like we look forward to that. But there's this flip side of it that when you're trying to reach some weight loss and health goals and you just want to feel better, weekends can also cause you stress and concern about like, how am I going to stick to my weight loss and my health goals on those days? And like I said, this is a common problem that clients share with us when they start our 12-week program. So I know this is a huge issue. So some of the reasons behind this, and you guys, again, tell me like if you relate to any of this. Victoria says it's not so much the weekends as it is staying at my mom's. And that's a really valid point. And I have that struggle too, because a lot of us, and you tell me if you can relate to this, a lot of us have moms or family members who, especially through the holidays, we're going to spend even more time with them, and their love language is food, right? So you go to their house and their way of loving on you is like making all the like fattening kinds of foods, the delicious, soothing kinds of foods, the foods you loved as a kid. And it's not that they're trying to derail you, but it's that's how they show their love. If you can relate to that, drop a comment too, because I can definitely. Victoria, that is like my mom, completely my mom. And she eats healthy herself and lost 120 pounds through working with me as her coach. But kind of back to what I was saying. So like a lot of the problem revolves around this issue of like, okay, so on the weekends or through the holidays, your exercise and your eating routines, if you have some in place, they get disrupted. And it's because like our days feel more unstructured, and that may make you feel uncomfortable. And you just feel like you have like way too many choices in those structured days. It also may feel like you don't have time. Like it's kind of this weird thing where like when you are at work during the week, you're super busy, but then all of a sudden on the weekend, you're trying to get all the activities in, like running around. Maybe you have, kids at home still, or even college kids that you're traveling to see. You're trying to see friends. You're trying to get the, shopping done and all the things done. So you have, ironically, it feels like you have less time to do the things you need to do to take care of yourself. And it may make you feel very vulnerable to temptation, or even weak in your resolve to stay on track. And some of that might come from the people that you're around. Like Victoria, mentioned being at her mom's. It may be that you're around friends too, who aren't as concerned about the weight loss goals or health goals like you are. So it feels more difficult when you're around those folks to stay committed to your healthy decisions, even if you really want to, right? And then there's this one, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this out here. And Brenda, you're not late. You're totally on time. You're fine. I'm going to put this out here. And if you can relate to this, I'd love to hear it in the comments. So sometimes, while our family and our friends love us, sometimes they may be negative about our focus on our health or our weight loss. And they may say things to you like, oh, you don't need to lose weight, or you're being a Debbie Downer if you're trying to make healthier choices when you're out, like at lunch with the girls, or you're at a family celebration or something like that. And here's the thing, you guys, the weekends and holidays are not going away. Thank God they're not, but they're not going away. They are part of life. So you have to learn to manage them with the disruption, with the unstructured time, with whatever discomfort or difficult decisions that may come. You've got to manage all of that. And it doesn't mean you have to give up fun. It doesn't mean you have to not see family. It doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself of foods that you enjoy. But what it means is that you've got to learn to make strides, to make choices that are aligned with your goals on the weekends and through the holidays, just like you do on weekdays. Okay. Now, how you do that may look very different than it does during the week. And in the beginning, and my clients tell me this all the time, in the beginning, it may feel a little harder to get those habits in place, but I promise you, and my clients will tell you, and if any of my clients are here, I want you to drop this in the comment. I promise you, it does get easier. And that's where coaching comes into play. It really does get easier, particularly when you have an expert guide to help you through those struggles. And so tonight I want to share with you a strategy for how to start managing the weekend and that holiday, what feels like a struggle. So those times really start to become part of your normal, healthy choice routine, rather than a time that feels like it sabotages you. Okay. So that's where I'm going to move now to the formal part of the presentation. And so I'm going to teach you this 3-step strategy so that you can stop being a weight loss washout on the weekends and through the holidays. Okay. So first, and if you brought a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil with you, you can go through and do exactly what I'm explaining to you on your piece of paper as I talk about it. But I do want to let you know, just once again, if you missed at the beginning, I'm going to send you an e-template for you to do this in a way just like I'm explaining it. And I'll just go ahead and show you that now. So I'm going to send you this template. Can you guys see that clearly, or is my head in the way of the slides? Brenda, will you let me know? Is my head over the slides, or can you guys see the slides very clearly? So I'm going to send you this template to use to do the activity that I'm going to describe to you now. Okay. So the first step in this 3-step strategy, and you guys, this is so simple and so actionable. You're going to be shocked at hey, Sally, at how easy it is and how little time it takes for you to do something so powerful and that can make such a huge impact for you. So first, let's just say we're doing this for the weekend. The same thing goes for the holiday season, but you can take it a weekend at a time, or if you're going on a trip to families for a week. You could do it like for the week, whatever, it all works. So let's say for a weekend, and this is what I have my clients do on Friday evening or like Saturday morning, think about and make a list of weekend events that you have planned. And so you take a piece of paper and you draw 2 lines, top to the bottom on a piece of paper. So you're creating 3 columns like this. See the 3 columns? So you draw these lines down the middle or down the 3 areas of your paper. So first do that and think about like, what all do I have planned for this weekend? And you do this on Friday or Saturday, Friday evening or Saturday morning. Label that far left column events. Okay. And in that column, make a list of all of your weekend plans and leave space in between them. Okay. So you're going to write that event list in that first column, leaving space. So for example, over the weekend, it could include things like Friday night pizza with the family. Maybe that's a tradition in your house. All day shopping with mom or girlfriends on Saturday. Or maybe you also have like a Saturday evening dinner planned at a local Italian restaurant with your friends, the Smiths or whatever. Maybe you have date night on Saturday night, or you have an overnight alone trip with the husband that's going to include like a late night comedy show. It's going to include maybe, you know, staying over at a hotel where you guys usually get snacks late night when you come in from being out. Maybe that's Saturday morning breakfast on your way home. Maybe you have like Sunday lunch or brunch with your girlfriends. Maybe you have like this weekend, I have a wedding. I'm going to one of our team members. Yay, Pam is getting married. So maybe you have a weekend wedding, or there's like, you know, football watching party on Sunday. Whatever events you have going on, put them in that far left-hand column under events. You get the idea. And when you start making a list, some of you guys are like super social. One of my clients, Beth, I'll call you out. She is like the most social human that I have been around in many, many years. And so there may be quite a number of things that are potential events to get you off track. So next, once you've made your list of events, I want you to look at each of those events. And in the middle column, I want you to label that temptations and triggers. This is the column that are we'll call them your TNTs. These are the temptations and the triggers that may come with each one of those events that you listed. So for example, Friday night pizza with family, maybe that's been a tradition. Like I said, the temptation and the trigger for you is that you love pizza. So I eat 3 or 4 slices, and that's really more than I want or I need. Maybe if you put down that you're going shopping, you and your mom like marathon shop around the holidays. And so your mom loves to have snacks in the car, cookies, chips, candy, whatever, right? And we also stop for Starbucks for our coffee treat. And while I enjoy that time with mom, like I'm choosing not to have some of those things right now. So that's a trigger for me, right? Dinner with friends, if that's on your list, they're fun. It's great conversation, but they eat like there's no tomorrow. And there's tons of wine always at those dinners. And after a few glasses, I'm not really the best at making good food choices, or choices at least that I want to make for right now for my goals. And so for each event, jot down, what is that TNT? What is that temptation and that trigger that may come up for you? And what's really important is that you're honest about this, because there are temptations and triggers that come with these events that sometimes we don't necessarily want to recognize. Like if I'm going to the lake with my girlfriends, and I know that we down 4 or 5 bottles of wine, and maybe I go into it thinking, okay, I'm not going to drink as much this weekend. And before I know it, we're laughing, we're talking about high school, we're listening to music, we're reminiscing. And before I know it, that really is a trigger for me to down way more glasses of wine than I planned to down. So make sure that you're super honest about what tempts you in those moments, what tempts you with being around like those friends or those family members. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong or bad about those people or those events. It's just being honest about what tempts and triggers you. Okay. So that's the second step. The third step is, okay, you're going to label that far right column with my choice and my plan. So you've got events. In the middle, you've got temptations and triggers. And on the far right side, you have my choice and my plan. Okay. In this column, I want you to write down an action that you choose, like right now, before you're in the middle of the event and you're experiencing the trigger. What is the action that you choose? The action that you will take when you are in the midst of experiencing that temptation or that trigger. Because here's the thing, by deciding and planning now for what you're going to do, you'll be able to mitigate the effects of those temptations at the time they happen. So for example, maybe in the my choice and my plan column, it looks like this. Pizza. Let's go back to family night tradition that you guys have had for years and years. Nothing wrong with it. It's time for you to spend with your family and you enjoy it. Maybe you put a movie on every Friday night. The thing is, if that's triggering for you and you love it, and before you know it, you've eaten 3 or 4 pieces and you really didn't plan to, what can I decide now, Friday morning, before it gets to Friday evening when I'm hungry and I smell the pizza dough? What can I decide to do then that will help me? So maybe for me, my plan and my action is going to be that before the pizza is delivered, I'm going to make a large salad and I'm going to get my bowl ready with like lots of really good veggies on it. I'm going to load that sucker up. I'm going to put some cheese on it and I'm going to drizzle it with some vinaigrette salad. And I'm going to go ahead and eat that salad. So when the pizza arrives, then I feel satisfied and I put one slice on my plate and I enjoy it with my family while we're watching the movie. And what that does is it keeps me from in the moment when I'm hungry and I'm smelling that yummy, gooey cheese and dough. It keeps me from gobbling up 3 or 4 pieces before I even know it, because I'm watching the movie and enjoying my kids and my husband and what have you, right? Maybe for shopping, maybe the trigger is, like we said, your mom and all the snacks. Maybe before mom arrives, you pack up some healthy snacks for you guys to take in the car along the ride. And this one I can relate to so well, because every year on Black Friday, we lived in East Texas and we would get up super early. My mom and I would, just the two of us, and we would drive to Dallas. And it was like a 3-hour drive and we would enjoy shopping all day long. I can't imagine doing it now, you guys. It sounds like torture. But when I was a teenager, I loved spending that time with my mom. And of course, we took snacks with us, right? And that's a really great memory. And it's a time that like I said, I loved spending with her. But rather than like saying to your mom, oh, we can't do that because I am trying to lose weight and like, you're not helping me, and having that kind of a conversation, maybe before she arrives, you pack up some healthier snacks like protein bars and water and like cheese squares and jerky and mixed nuts and like some dark chocolate chips and baggies. And you offer that up and you're like, hey, look, I packed up snacks for us. We don't have to worry about getting them. And you're really helping mom be healthier too when you do that, right? And if mom wants like the traditional like Starbucks coffee to get the creme brulee or whatever the sugary treat is, if she wants to do that, that's totally fine. You could just choose a lower sugar option when you get there. And if you write that down, this is going to be my plan, this is going to be the action, you're going to be much more likely to take that action at the point where you're feeling that temptation, right? Because you've made like a promise to yourself. You've committed to doing that. And so in using this strategy, it really can take just a few minutes, you guys, and you can minimize, or even in some instances, completely avoid both the physical and the emotional consequences of those temptations and triggers and the actions that they brought on, right? Like the thoughts of Saturday morning after you ate 4 or 5 pieces of pizza and you didn't really plan on doing that, but you did, the thoughts of like, oh my God, I wish I hadn't done that. I'm so freaking bloated. Like now I have gas and I feel constipated or whatever. Or the thoughts of like I ruined my whole week. I was doing so good and I ruined my whole week just in that Saturday night out with my husband and, you know, the other couples that were hanging around. We ate way too much cheese and queso and chips at that restaurant. And I drank way too much. Those thoughts of like, how stupid, like I really didn't want to be a failure again, or I knew I couldn't do this. And you can also avoid that progress disappointment. My clients, we go through a whole protocol, and they'll, if they're here, they'll get what I'm talking about and maybe even like comment, but we start to learn our bodies. And part of that is taking kind of, you know, like data points and doing these like progress checks, right? And when you do that progress check, if you haven't planned for those temptations and triggers, and you haven't planned the action in advance, and you give in and you feel like you've sabotaged yourself all weekend, you've ruined your hard work that you put in all week, and you step on that scale and you see 2 or 4 or even 5 pounds of an increase from Friday to Monday, and you say to yourself, like, I'm a failure again, I can't do this. Of course, all of those thoughts, those are bullshit, you guys. And I go through with my clients, I go through how to even manage the thinking around that and like get our heads on straight, if you will, because there's a huge mindset piece to this weight loss journey. There's a huge emotional component for us as women, particularly at this stage of life. There's a huge like psychological part to this journey. And so like our conscious awareness knows that those thoughts are bullshit. We know that like an extra slice or even 2 of pizza on Friday night is not going to make you a failure. So, but beating yourself up about it, that can seriously negatively impact your thinking, your future actions, and definitely your results. And it's not going to be in a positive way. And all of that, time after time, you take that over the course of just one holiday season, and that can slow your progress or even reverse it. And it can turn the change that you're trying to make around so that it's a negative change and you're not getting the results that you want. And in fact, you're going the other direction. So a simple couple of minutes with these 3 steps can really make a huge difference in not just what one weekend results are like and how you feel and the physical changes that you see, but cumulatively over a course of a whole holiday season, it can add up to a huge difference. And you can, in fact, just like my clients, you can lose weight through the holidays instead of gaining it. So thoughts, I would love to hear thoughts. We've been going for about 35 minutes. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Hey, Jade, I see you. Several of you, Sally, several of you have jumped in. Hello. So I'd love to, like, I have time for questions. I have time to like respond to anything, your thoughts. How, can you relate to this? Is it helpful? I would love to hear your comments underneath this live. Let me know. I'm going to hang around for just a few minutes. But while I do, I want you to know that you're going to get this template along with the slides that I just gave you and the replay of this training session. So you can download this, you can print it off, you can use it as, you know, you could do it electronically on your computer too, but you have this template for you so that you can put these 3 steps, this 3-step strategy in place to help you with like the coming weekend. Tomorrow, you could do this for this weekend. And I would love for you to do that. And if you do, let me know exactly how it worked out for you. So that's where they're like, let's see it in action. Use this worksheet for this weekend's events and let me know how it worked out for you. What kind of a difference did it make? How did it make you feel about it? So while I'm kind of watching and seeing if you guys have any questions, I also want to tell you, and I meant to share this at the beginning and tell you if you hung around, I was going to do this. You're welcome, Cindy. You're so very welcome. Is this helpful? I meant to tell you at the beginning that if you hung around, I was going to have an offer for you. And if you're watching this on replay, you can take advantage of this too. What I am willing to do, I've opened up some special slots on my calendar so that those of you who signed up for this, who are, here live or getting the replay, if you want to spend some time chatting about like what you're struggling with right now, what do you feel like is your biggest obstacle in you reaching your health goals or your weight loss goals, I'm happy to spend about 20 minutes with you on the phone, one-on-one, chat through. It's hard for me to chat through the individual kinds of, situations, everybody's individual situations on, in the comments on a live like this, but I'm happy to jump on a call with you for 20 minutes or so, talk about that. And I can give you some suggestions to address your individual struggles, because that's really where the change comes in, you guys. This is not a one size fits all situation. There's no band-aid that I can give you to fix everybody's struggles and challenges. It just doesn't work that way. Even though, yes, we're all going through a similar struggle as our hormones change and our metabolism isn't working in the same way that it was when we were in our 20s and 30s, every one of us still has an individual journey. And in order to make a difference in that journey and to get over those kinds of obstacles and repair and heal your hormones and get your metabolism working for you again, it really does take a one-on-one kind of customized approach, because those journeys are all different. So if I jump on a call with you for 20 minutes or so, and that's my gift to you for hanging around and listening to me jibber jabber, I can give you some really practical steps. I can offer you some ideas for what you need to do to address the kinds of challenges that you're dealing with. So I am going to, underneath the live, I'm going to send you, let me grab the right link. I'm going to drop my link for you to be able to schedule a time to talk with me. And let me go ahead and stop the share, and I'll grab that link for you. And like I said, I will stick this link in the comments under this live video. Just click on it, find a time that works for you, and we'll chat. And I'm doing that right now. Those of you who are still here with me, and I'm kind of watching the comments. Hey, Rebecca. Good reminders, helpful for mindset. Yeah, Cindy, it's like a mindset is such a big part of this, right? Cindy's a former client, so she knows mindset is such a huge part of this entire journey. I mean, I know that you see all over social media, and here's that link, you guys. I know you see all over social media, like meal plans, and workouts, and like, do this and you can do this and you can do that. And the reality is that's only one part of the equation. Sure, there is a way that you need to eat, particularly in this stage of life, that's different, that's healthy. Because when you just say, well, I know how to eat healthy, eating healthy at this stage in life is different than eating healthy when we were like, 25 or 30, how you need to move your body and the kinds of workouts that you need to do. There's a lot of noise out there on social media, but the reality is that that's different from what you needed to do when you were in your 20s and 30s, if you have certain goals. And those things need to be customized and individualized, but that's only part of the equation. Like Cindy pointed out, mindset and emotion and like how you're feeling around your hormones changing. Like, how many of you guys have just like kind of had those days where you're like in a funk for no reason? You don't understand what's going on, or you like cry at the drop of a hat for, like I cried on a commercial. You guys, like I cried when a commercial came on the other day, and that's a hormone issue. And so that has to do with mindset. And mindset, while it's become a really cliche thing to talk about, particularly in social media right now, the reality is that that's a huge part of reaching your weight loss and or your health goals, but not just reaching them, sustaining them, particularly for women like you who are very driven, who are very career focused, educated women with a lot of responsibility, and let's face it, a lot of stress in our lives. And so being able to manage in a way that's sustainable on a day-to-day basis, not just the food and the fitness, but also kind of the psychology of what's going on with our bodies, being able to manage that is really key for us keeping long-term sustainable results. So we're not right back where we were needing to lose weight again in 3 or 6 months, or maybe even needing to lose even more weight. So I appreciate you guys being here with me. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Continue to make comments under this live in our Facebook group. For those of you watching on replay, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to watch this. I would love for you to hit reply on the email that I send you with this recorded link and let me know your thoughts. Let me know how this is helpful to you. And if you have any questions, let me know that too. I dropped the link underneath the live in our Facebook group if you'd like to take advantage of that 20 minutes or so one-on-one chat where I can help you to figure out some strategies, like what are your particular challenges, and give you some suggestions for how to overcome those and mitigate those particular issues. Take advantage of doing that. And if you're watching on replay, I'll send that link to you when I send the replay and the resources. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful Thursday evening. Please do use this weekend and let me know in the group how it worked for you. And if you have any questions, talk to you soon. Bye.